heroes turned villains? More like idiots with a hero complex. Today I'd like to dive into the cesspool of cinematic good guys, who when you think about it were actually colossal twats. From Jenny's selfish shenanigans to Grandpa Joe's lazy freeloading, let's talk about the real villains hiding behind those fake smiles and false morals. So let's settle in and prepare to have our rose-tinted glasses shattered. Some of these conversations are often discussed in Reddit or X threads, so it felt like a good topic on this here channel. I want to dissect some of these fan favorites to reveal the ugly truth lurking beneath their shiny, heroic veneer. I think after watching this video, some of you may never look at these characters the same way again, and at the very least, some of these characters had their villain origin stories revealed right before our eyes, and we didn't even know it. So, let's dive into this dumpster fire of unintentional villainy, shall we?
You suck, you jackass.
So after a brief search online, according to Google's AI, a movie villain is a character who is the main antagonist to the hero and does bad things.
It's fun to do bad things.
Villains can be cruel or evil, often breaking the law or harming others to get what they want. They may also have a tragic backstory that gives them depth and complexity. Starting at number 9 is one of the internet's favorite punching bags, Jenny from Forrest Gump. So I wanted to kick things off with one of the most talked about unintentional villains in movie history. Jenny's the gal Forrest loved from the moment he met her when they were kids, and she is often seen as the unintentional villain, and here's why. Despite her tragic backstory and obvious abuse and trauma, she repeatedly makes choices that hurt Forrest, the film's innocent and lovable protagonist. Jenny's life is a whirlwind of self-destructive behavior, drugs, unstable relationships, and constant departures that leaves Forrest heartbroken time and time again. Her actions are often viewed as manipulative, stringing Forrest along while she navigates her personal demons. If you've been anywhere near the internet the last 5 years, you know this portrayal has sparked widespread debate online, with many criticizing her for abandoning Forrest only to return when she needs support. Also, Forrest is, how should we say this, mentally slow, and Jenny time and time again exploits him, then only sticks around once she realizes he's rich. Simplified version, but you get the gist. Here's a clip from Family Guy that just perfectly nails it.
Hi, Forrest. I know you just got back from Vietnam and you love me, but I'm gonna go run a train with this group of Black Panthers I just met.
Okay, Jenny.
Hi, Forrest. I know you came all this way to New York to visit me, but I'm gonna go do blow and have sex with a bunch of stockbrokers.
Okay, Jenny.
Hi, Forrest. Now that I have the most contagious and incurable disease known to mankind, I'll finally have pity sex with you.
Okay, Jenny. And I'll mow the grass and raise the AIDS, baby.
While I've always found Jenny's treatment of Forrest frustrating, it really doesn't take away from the fact that her untimely demise is just heart-wrenching. The scene at the end of the movie where Forrest is talking to Jenny's tombstone can bring even the toughest man to tears. Jenny's journey from a victim of abuse to a troubled adult is clearly a poignant reminder of the lasting scars of trauma, which it does add a layer of sympathy to her being a shitty person to Forrest throughout the narrative. All in all, Jenny sucks, but she's not all that bad. At number 8, I want to discuss a twofer from the same movie. Harry, played by Alan Rickman, and Mark, played by Andrew Lincoln in Love Actually. I could probably throw a few other characters in this movie on this list, but these two are the ones that really stand out to me. So let's start with Alan Rickman's slimeball character, Harry. Harry's supposed to be this redeemable, lovable guy that messes up, but we're supposed to forgive him by the end. But fuck this guy. He encapsulates every middle-aged man's midlife crisis in one fell swoop. He's got a devoted wife, Karen, played by the ever-brilliant Emma Thompson, yet he decides to flirt with disaster in the form of his secretary, Mia. And it's not just a harmless flirtation, it's a full-blown affair that was later confirmed by the film's writer, Emma Freud. Harry's gift of a necklace to Mia while giving his wife a Joni Mitchell CD for Christmas is the ultimate slap in the face, turning him into the poster boy for emotional betrayal. His actions unravel Karen's world, and Thompson's brilliant performance makes us feel every ounce of her pain. So while Harry might not twirl a mustache or tie anyone to train tracks, his selfish escapades make him the kind of villain that hits a little too close to home. And now on to the number 2 douche played in this flick, Mark, played by Rick Grimes, Andrew Lincoln. I can cut this dude a little slack because he's madly in love with his best friend's gal. That's a tough spot to be love struck, but Rose before hose, dude. Am I right? Anyway, he takes it way too far and takes the cake for awkward romantic gestures, showing up at his best friend's house to profess his love to his wife Juliet with cue cards. Yeah, nothing says healthy boundaries like confessing your undying love to your mate's spouse while he's just upstairs. Honestly, I think Mark's actions are the epitome of creepy, as even director Richard Curtis admitted years later. It's a storyline that blurs the lines between romance and stalking, leaving audiences cringing at his misguided attempt at love. Despite the film's festive charm, Mark's storyline remains a head-scratcher, making him the unintentional villain who turns what should be a heartwarming moment into an uncomfortable spectacle. Plus, he's a truly shit friend. You may never thought of number 7 because his character is so likable in the movie, but I'm putting Dewey Finn, played by Jack Black in School of Rock, on this list. Dewey disguises himself as the cool teacher we all wish we had. His character's got charisma, sure, but let's not forget he's a fraud who steals his roommate's identity to snag a teaching gig. Yeah, nothing really screams role model like committing identity theft to hang out with a bunch of 5th graders. When you really break it down, you see things like Dewey's got the kids ditching math for music, turning a prestigious prep school into his personal rock band fantasy camp. While his antics are entertaining and he's a nice guy, he's essentially risking their education and futures for his washed-up rock star dreams. But hey, at least they learn how to shred a juicy guitar solo. Dewey might be lovable, but his reckless behavior makes him an unintentional villain who just hijacks a classroom for his own selfish encore. I love this movie, but it's interesting to rewatch it while thinking of Dewey as the villain the whole time. At number 6 is the unreasonable prick that makes the wet bandits look like saints in Home Alone. Uncle Frank, played by Jerry Bammon. As a kid, I always thought this guy was the epitome of a holiday nightmare, not just because he's a creep that makes Scrooge look nice.
Olives and
Look what
onions
you did, you little jerk!
I mean, he calls Kevin a little jerk in front of the whole family, setting the tone for a Christmas full of neglect and disdain. While everyone else is panicking about leaving Kevin behind, Frank casually compares it to forgetting his reading glasses. Because of course, a kid and spectacles are totally the same. He also steals, treats his wife poorly, and he's a cheap bastard who won't pony up the money for some pizzas while he stays at his brother's house free of charge. He's that weird drunken uncle at Thanksgiving that makes you wish for a silent night, and his self-centered antics make him the true antagonist of the McAllister clan. So while Harry and Marv are busy bungling their burglary, Uncle Frank's the real Grinch stealing Kevin's Christmas spirit in this film. Christopher Nolan has one of the all-time great lines in the Dark Knight movie.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
What if the supposed hero of a movie is the unintentional villain? Here's why Nick Rice, played by Jamie Foxx in Law Abiding Citizen, is number 5 on this list. Nick is a hotshot prosecutor who's more interested in maintaining his precious conviction rate than serving justice. When Clyde Shelton's family's brutally murdered, Rice cuts a deal with one of the killers, letting him off with just a slap on the wrist. This sets off a chain of events that makes you question the real antagonist. Rice's arrogance and moral compromise trigger Shelton's wrath, leading to the bloody vendetta. Instead of being the upholder of justice, Rice's actions reveal him as a cog in a broken system, prioritizing career over conscience and unwittingly unleashing chaos. In the end, Rice isn't just a bystander, he's the catalyst for the film's descent into madness. His shitty ways are basically the reason the movie plays out the way it does. And now for a real piece of shit. At least the internet tells me they hate this guy as much as I do. At number 4, we have Grandpa Joe, played by Jack Albertson from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. This asshole lounges in bed for 20 years, letting his family scrape by on cabbage soup while hiding much needed money to indulge in his tobacco habit. But the moment Charlie finds a golden ticket, Joe springs up like he's auditioning for Dancing with the Stars. Suddenly, he's got the energy to sing, dance, and prance around, showing that his bedridden act was more about convenience than incapacity. He encourages Charlie to break the rules inside the factory by indulging in fizzy lifting drinks, risking their chance at the grand prize, and when things go south, he blames Wonka, conveniently forgetting his own role in the fiasco. Grandpa Joe might be charming, but his lazy antics and poor judgment make him the unintentional villain who nearly derails Charlie's dream. So here's another choice you may never have thought about. Inception's one of my absolute favorite Chris Nolan movies, and it wasn't until a friend pointed this out that it dawned on me. Cobb's the villain of this movie. Number 3 is Dom Cobb, played by Leonardo DiCaprio in Inception. Here's the case for this. Alright, so hear me out. The dude's got a knack for dragging his unresolved guilt over his wife's death into every subconscious escapade, turning his personal baggage into team liability. Cobb's so wrapped up in his own issues that he neglects to mention the little detail about limbo, where you could end up as scrambled eggs if you die in a dream. Yeah, that's not shady. His obsession with being the hero and clearing his name scheme leads him to manipulate Fisher's mind, all while his psyche is a ticking time bomb. Cobb's reckless pursuit of redemption risks everyone's lives, making him the unintentional villain who blurs the line between savior and saboteur. In the end, his quest for closure might just be the real Inception, leaving us to wonder if he ever truly wakes up from his own nightmare. Off topic, but have you ever watched the movie and paid attention to Cobb's wedding ring? Food for thought. Check it out next time you watch it. At number 2, we have Bryce Dallas Howard's Claire Deering from Jurassic World. This woman turns the damn theme park into a prehistoric nightmare. This corporate dynamo is so focused on profits and investor schmoozing that she greenlights the creation of the Indominus Rex. Who wouldn't want a dinosaur with more teeth and less sanity? Claire's clearly got her priorities straight until the genetically engineered monster escapes and starts treating the park like an all-you-can-eat buffet. Meanwhile, she's too busy ignoring her nephews and strutting in high heels to notice the chaos brewing. Her brilliant crisis management strategy? Team up with Raptor Wrangler Owen, played by Chris Pratt, because nothing says problem solved like running from dinosaurs in stilettos. While Claire eventually steps up to save the day, her initial blunders make her the unintentional villain who nearly turns a family outing into a dino disaster. Added bonus, she gets many people killed in the meantime for our entertainment. Alright, for the coup de grace, the final selection in this silly little list is Daniel Hillard, played by Robin Williams in the 90s classic Mrs. Doubtfire. I never really thought about this one much until a recent sleepless night. I threw it on as background noise, and as I was watching, I was like, wait a second. Ro is super deceptive in this film. As an unemployed voice actor, Daniel decides that the best way to spend time with his kids is to dress up as a Scottish nanny and infiltrate his ex-wife's home because nothing says responsible parenting like identity theft and elaborate cross-dressing schemes. Our hero's brilliant plan involves lying to everyone he loves, manipulating his children into keeping a secret, and actively sabotaging his ex-wife's new relationship. They try to paint Pierce Brosnan's Stewart as the antagonist throughout the film, but he's honestly a reasonably sympathetic character. I mean, let's not forget the casual poisoning attempt on the poor bastard. Just a bit of light-hearted attempted murder to spice things up, eh? Daniel's so wrapped up in his Mrs. Doubtfire persona that he neglects his actual responsibilities as a father. Instead of working on himself and proving to the court he's a fit parent, he opts for the totally sane choice of living a double life. Because why grow as a person when you can just grow a pair of fake breasts?
Big giant kitties.
In the end, like so many 90s movies, Daniel learns valuable lessons about parenting and responsibility, but in this instance, it was by committing fraud, lying to a judge, and traumatizing his family. But hey, at least we got a TV show out of it, because nothing says family values like turning your criminal escapades into primetime entertainment. Hey, it worked for Martha Stewart. Anyway, that's all I got for you on this one. Thanks for clicking on this video and giving it the old college try. Hopefully, I didn't become the unintentional villain in your own narrative. I'd love it if you could give this video a like and let me know what you think by hitting the subscribe button if you so dare. It's free of charge, just this one time. Let's light up those comments and tell me which characters you thought were unintentional villains when they were billed as something else. I think I'm really looking forward to reading some of these. As always, the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone, but what do I know? I'm but a mere jackass. I'll try to do better next time, but don't count on it. Catch you later, friends.
That talks too much. I'm just a jackass of all trades. Don't know shit. I'll keep on talking, acting like I'm so legit. From politics to sports, I'm